All right, it is 4 o'clock. We'll call the St. Cloud Metro Transit Commission Board to order. Roll call, missing Chair Kleiss. I will chair the meeting in his absence. Additions to or corrections to the agenda?
No.
Looking for approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? That carries. Consent agenda, we have 4 items. Look for a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Oppose? That carries as well. Open forum, do we have anyone online? Nope. General business, item number 9.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Here to recognize David Peacock. He was awarded MIPTA's Driver of the Year this year. David has been a dedicated dial-a-ride operator for 24 years, demonstrating exceptional safety, professionalism, and customer service. He is placed in the top 3 of the local rodeo more than 20 times, competed at the state level 17 times with 6 first-place finishes, and earned a 3rd place at the 2022 CTAA National Rodeo. David's commitment to excellence and his passion for helping people make him an outstanding representative of Metrobus and the community we serve. Congratulations,
Awesome.
David.
Congratulations.
I'd like to take a picture.
Picture time.
And Dave Price is on, just for record.
No one did a cutout for him?
Go ahead.
All right, smiles, please. Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, no, big over.
Congrats.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
Thanks, David.
All right, on to item number 10, resolution of 2026.
Good evening, Commissioners. In front of you, you have the resolution to designate Wells Fargo as our official depository for FY26. Our fiscal year started October 2025, and it runs through September 30th, 2026. So we're still with Wells Fargo, and also we're designating the St. Cloud Times as the official newspaper. The publication we'll do for St. Cloud Times is posting our program of projects or any other information that Minn has to post.
Yep. Look for a motion on that.
Motion approved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Seeing none. Oh,
Just a quick question. Is the St. Cloud Times the only publication that would qualify, or would like St. Cloud Live or some of the other ones qualify as well?
I do know St. Cloud Live qualifies. There's been some changes state law on that. Even our local news leader that's published every other week does apply
Oh,
or qualify. There's a consistency of publication requirement, but I think most of them are all online now from a notice perspective. They do have to be published one time in written media, and that publication has to be a repeatable, consistent thing.
okay. Okay, good to know. Thanks.
It's been a topic of conversation in our community. There's a lot of money from a city on publishing that.
Yes, it is.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 You're in good shape there.
That carries. Item number 11. Travel policy.
So that is also me, and I just did some wordsmithing to that and some policy updates. So in your package, you have the old policy and the new policy. What I just did was added some stuff. In the GSA website, St. Cloud is no longer listed. Instead of going with per diem based off of Minnesota. So I just removed that language, added it there, and then for conferences, that's item 1.16. I also added the option of traveling the next day for out-of-state travel in case if the conference runs late or something happens and the person is not able to come back the same day, they have the option of traveling the next day. Then item 1.10 was a lot of verbiage which were already included in the other one. So what I did was just condense everything because it already shows up in other parts of the policies.
Great. Any questions?
All right. Do you notify commissioners of potential, events that they could attend or anything like that? Is that something that we would get?
Yeah.
That we could take a look at?
Yeah.
And, okay, make a
Yeah, I
decision?
typically will make an announcement at a board meeting, like this upcoming like a Minnesota State Association conference. I know we had board members in the past who went to the state conferences and then national conferences too as well. And then I know now with the new law that changed, well, I should say new law, with the state requirement for MnDOT, board members that travel, it has to come out of local share. Where before we were able to use state dollars for travel for the board commissioners, now we just have to do local share. So it has to come to the commission. So let's say you want to go to a APTA conference, for example, just come to the commission approves it, and then we're able to utilize local share to fund their trip.
Okay, I'd appreciate it going forward, maybe just a notification of some type that when those things are available or,
Yeah.
and what the topics are, that'd be really great.
Yeah, certainly,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, this board's had, maybe 2 years ago, had some conversation of how that structure happens. To Ryan's point, some of the state law changes as well, but I think we have a threshold now as part of our board policy.
No, not a threshold, it just has to be approved.
Has to be approved,
Has to
okay.
be approved by the commission, right.
Okay.
Yeah, like the DC, for example.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Is there a motion to approve the updated travel policy?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries 5-0. And last up is Western Transit Center update.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Just wanted to provide a quick update on the Western Transit Center project. So we're very close to finalizing design of not only the property, but also the layout of the facility. We were able to get over a pretty large hurdle here the last couple of weeks. On the 13th, we attended the Wade Park Planning Commission meeting, and it was unanimously voted to bring our conditional use permit application to the Wake Park City Council and recommend approval. So that's obviously a big piece of us moving forward with the construction of the Western Transit Center. I wanted to acknowledge Commissioner Schmidt for attending that meeting in his city and providing support for the project and also support for just being there. So that was great. I think a lot of attendees noticed that, and that's certainly appreciated. So yeah, I just wanted to provide a quick update moving forward, and that was obviously a major hurdle and a major step in the process. So we're on track to complete on time at this point.
Awesome. Any questions, comments? Yep.
One question I would have is the footprint, when I look at that piece of property, I was curious how that compares to, let's say, the downtown transit center. Is that significantly larger, or what is the size difference between maybe the St. Cloud one and the new transit center?
Look, it's not much bigger than the downtown one. I can't remember off the top of my head what our square footage is downtown, but this one will be a little under 5,000 square feet. We shrunk it down compared to what it was originally going to be, based on budget and obviously need. The property is about 6.4 acres total. And we're using about 4 acres total for the construction of the transit center, as well as keeping the existing shed that's already there. So that just kind of gives you a general idea of the size, how it kind of compares. But we're going to have, when it's all said and done, we're going to have about 2.4 acres left of property to do some other project in the future with, if we choose to. So, yeah, I wish I could remember off the top of my head what the square footage is downtown, but it's certainly going to provide some additional space because the transit center downtown is way too small, even for that location. So we're building in some extra space for some training options, some amenities for our customers, as well as some additional amenities for our employees that we don't have down there. For example, they really don't have an adequate break space, and the restrooms, when they come in, at the loading and unloading times, the bathrooms are sometimes stacked up. So we're adding some additional options there too. So.
Okay, well, thank you for that update.
You're welcome.
No action needed on that, just an update.
Something, correct.
Excellent. Moving on to department reports. We have a planning update.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. So I'll stick to a script here so we can get to the point. I'm Michael Kudrowski, the planning analyst here at Metrobus. One of my primary responsibilities is collecting service level ridership data, making it presentable so we can report it back to federal and state agencies. I've been working here for about 5.5 years now. Before working at Metrobus, I had a background in planning and zoning and community development. I began my experience in transit during college, both riding the bus and then through an internship with Southwest Transit down Eden Prairie. I'm happy to serve this community where my friends and family live, and I plan for more transit options in the future. So here's some details about the last fiscal year. Ridership totals for fiscal year 25 were 809,467 total rides. That was across all modes there. For fixed route, there was a slight decrease from fiscal year 25 to 24 of only 0.6%. So actually it was pretty close to last year's ridership. Routes with increases year over year was Route 8 had 9.6%, Route 9 13.5%, Route 12 had 8.4%, and Route 32 5%. Dial ride had an increase of 1.5%. North Star Link also had an increase, that was up 2.3%. Then looking at kind of the ridership for the schools, St. Cloud State ridership was up 2%, but that was about 2,000 more rides than the previous year. St. Cloud Tech ridership was actually up 160%.
Oh.
But that, I think there's some partnership with the colleges between St. Cloud State and St. Cloud Tech, so that kind of helped a little bit too, and hopefully only better moving forward with the more connections and frequency. And then let's see here, District 742 saw a 9% increase in ridership, but there are also 3 months during the summer when we don't collect ridership because of the You Go Free program. So let's see here. So as far as some projects, lots of planning projects going on this year, as in last year too. I've been on the project team for Metrobus Forward along with several others in the room today. The marketing team's done a great job adding items to our website, and the final draft you've reviewed and approved is on our website for all to view, ridemetrobus.com/forward. It was vital in planning for our system changes and for our transit center. Let's see here. So I've also worked with the implementation on Metrobus Forward, our project for the transit center and for running routes. The purpose for that is to provide service changes that allow a more efficient, streamlined system that provide better customer experience and allow customers to get to their destination sooner with less transfers, add frequency back in the system, and remove that was removed when we had service reductions. Metrobus staff continues to work through the timing of new routes and a few tweaks to the patterns. The next step is to finalize what stops will go, what stops will be replaced and need to be placed. And then the team will move on to creating route schedules. And then fare changes are also a component of that plan. It's been very fulfilling seeing this develop and get one step closer to reality. So, and then Dave touched on the Western Transit Hub. I was on the project team for that with the selection of the location. And yeah, it's under the permitting process for that, and we'll move on to the bidding process for construction. And then finally, this year's a It's a sampling year for the National Transit Database. Transit agencies of our size are required to sample ridership and collect data. I'm responsible for the sampling procedure of that, and we'll ride random routes throughout the sampling year to gather data for calculations that we use for reporting. Our last reporting year is 2023, so I just started that this year, fiscal year 26. You're welcome to help out anytime. Just let me know. I'll get you a survey sheet and get you set up with the route. And then I also will represent Metrobus on several boards and committees. So I facilitate our rider advisory committee, and then I also serve on the APO technical advisory committee. And then I also will represent Metrobus for the MnDOT District 3 area transportation partnership. That's a long one. And then also the North Star Communities meeting as well. So, any questions?
You mentioned a couple of the fixed route that we're seeing high single-digit increase. Any anecdotal reasons why? Feedback on that?
Nothing at this point in time, but if you have any questions on specific routes, I usually like to look that up so I can have more information. But I don't want to really just spitball anything.
Sure.
Year to year kind of really varies, and also
It does, okay.
depends on the amount of weekdays we have, the amount of weekends that we have for that too, because there's service amounts on those. But if you have any questions about specific routes, just let me know, and I can always back it up with data or information.
Sure.
You had mentioned at the end about North Star. Is that, will that, I mean, at the end of the year it ends, will that discussion still continue after that, once it's done? Or is that, what's the status of that?
Yeah, so as far as that, it's officially going to end for us at the end of the year on the 31st. We won't be doing the connections from the St. Cloud area. But from my understanding, it's going to be continuing through Metro Transit and partnerships with the county. But that's going to be to service the other stops outside of our service area. So, but we're ending the North Star Link service effective on the 31st. Ryan has anything?
Yeah, I could add to that too. So Metrobus, we are currently in talks with MnDOT, and we've been in talks with Metro Transit just on how we could potentially continue to serve passengers to Big Lake, provided that Met Council, through Met Transit, could come to Big Lake and we could do a connection. But unfortunately, Metro Transit, they're not making a legislative language change to allow them to operate outside of the 7-county metro area, which will allow them to come to Sherburne where they could make the connection at Big Lake. So because of that, they're just stopping in Elk River. So because Metrobus doesn't pay for the North Star, we use the counties, Sherburne County, Stearns County, and Hennepin County, and then the rest of the funds come from MnDOT. Right now, the county's not in a position to pay additional dollars for us to go to Elk River to make that connection. So the buses that we have now at the end of the year, we're going to sell those buses that we have, those 5 MCI buses, because then we won't have a need for them.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I have a couple questions for you, Mike. Kind of piggyback off what Ryan said too, is I wouldn't mind seeing kind of which routes they are that are up in ridership and maybe why, what you think. But also I wouldn't mind seeing some numbers pre-COVID compared to where we are now, and I think the ridership is still down. But I'd like to see how much.
Sure.
And what, just take the two different transit areas that we have, the
Paratransit and Fit.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
That's
Sure.
what I was getting at, the two. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, no.
It happens when you retire, your brain kind of goes to sleep sometimes. It's like, been here for how long, and I forgot what I was saying.
We
But
can always collect information.
yeah,
for you.
okay, I wouldn't mind seeing that. No rush. I wouldn't mind seeing that though, to see where
Sure.
before COVID and how far we're actually from those totals that we had.
And we're still operating on a reduced schedule, so that kind of skews that
Right.
number a little bit, but
Okay, I wouldn't mind seeing it though. I mean, yeah, I get that though.
Can you share
But-
that with other commissioners as well? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, with board.
Yeah, if
Okay.
Kelly
Yep.
gets that in the recording on the minutes, then I can get the information and we can get that sent out.
Okay.
to Ryan or Dave and get
And
that
then maybe
information to you.
you said earlier, when's the West Transit Center, when are you looking to have that completed? What's the completion
Oh,
date
we're
on
looking
that?
at next year, fiscal 2027.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, great, thank you.
Yeah, maybe what we could do too.
I can,
Oh, go ahead, Dave.
I can just provide some real quick numbers, just comparing 2021. So if you'll just give me a minute to do some quick math here. I got it right in front of me.
2019 though, pre-COVID,
Mhm.
not 21.
Yeah. 21 would be during COVID, correct? Or, I mean, post-COVID. It was during COVID.
First complete
21 would
year
be.
21,
of
so-
COVID
Yeah.
that we're comparing.
2020.
But you want to compare.
I
Pre,
wanna
so
see- I
anything
wanna see pre.
2019 or prior, probably 2019 would be the best,
Yeah.
our last
Mhm.
year that we can all recall being normal.
So just for comparison, 2021, we had 685,684 rides. If I'm looking at 2019, which I have right in front of me also, so if you'll just give me a second, do some quick math. Yeah, so like 2019, we had 1.68 million rides that year.
It's a lot.
Wow.
So we're certainly still down compared to 2019. Now, I guess, as Misty stated, we have to remember too that we're operating at about 79% of what we were in 2019. So that certainly doesn't help this scenario as well. So a lot of reduced frequency, a lot of reduced service compared to what we were doing in 2019. Also, you know, we had a significant amount of our rides come from St. Cloud State back in the day. And I think last number I heard, they were at about 30% of what they were at before, and then 30% of that's on campus. So, I mean, obviously that ends up having a significant impact, because there was a time when about 60 to 70% of our ridership came from St. Cloud State. So just helping to put that kind of in perspective.
Great, thanks.
Thank you. Any
And
other
we're
que-
gonna upset the whole apple cart at the end of next year.
Any other questions from commission? Yep.
I'm curious, we're gonna upset the whole apple cart. What did that reference? Or
So we're rolling out the Metro Bus Forward initiative along with the opening of the Western Transit Center.
oh,
And that's gonna be some pretty significant changes to the entire system.
okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anything else? Seeing none, look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
And we're adjourned at 4:23.